गिरिवर धारी
कुंज विहारी गोपी जन
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावन चारि यमुना तीरावन चारि यमुना तीरावन चारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन
यमुना तीरावन चारि यमुना तीरावन चारि हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा शरद बिहारी राधा शरद बिहारी राधे
जय राधा शरद बिहारी राधा शरद बिहारी राधे
जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी
जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottr Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, भक्तिमती तुलसी महारानी की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Hare Krishna. So these Mangalacharan verses are very, very important and very auspicious. So whenever we know these verses, it's always recommended to recite along with the speaker, because these verses bring all the auspiciousness in the discussion and as well as in the environment in general. Although we are sitting in the temple room, it's already auspicious, so auspicious, transcendental. But still, these verses represent Shabda Brahman, or these verses in simple language, these words represent the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as they are coming directly from Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran. So thank you everybody for your participation this morning. So we are reading. Okay. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 14, text 28. The name of this chapter is Pregnancy of Diti in the Evening. Okay. Hasanti yasya charitam hi durabhagaha.
Shanti yasya charitam hi durvaha.
Swatam ratasya vidusha samhitam.
Swatam ratasya vidusha samhitam.
Yervastramalya Varnanulepanha Swabhojanam Swatmatayopalalitam.
Swabhojanam Swatmatayopalalitam.
Asanti yasya charitam hi durbhagaha.
Asanti yasya charitam hi durvava.
Swataman ratasya vidusha samhitam.
Swatman ratasya vidusha samhitam.
Yervastramalya bharananulepane.
Yervastramalaya parahanvikarine.
Swabhojanam swatmatayopalalitam.
Swabhojanam swamatiyopalalitam.
Asanti yasya charitam hi durbhagaha.
Asanti yasya charitam hi durlabha.
Svatman Ratya Vidusha Samhitam.
Svatman Ratasya Vidusha Samhitam.
Yervatra Malya Bharananulepana.
Vasramalyai Bharananulepana.
Swabhojanam Svatmatayo Palilitam.
Bhojanam Swadmatayo Palaliyatam.
Any reciters?
Asantiyasya charitam hi durbhaga.
Asantiyasya charitam hi durbhaga.
Svatman ratashyai yasha vidusha samhihitam.
Svatman ratasya vidusha samhitam.
Irvastra malya bharananulepanai. Svabhojanam swat Matayo palahitam.
Acharitam hi adurvaga.
Shantiyasya charitam hi durvaga.
Atmanam Natasha Vidusha Samhitam.
Svatman ratasya vidusta samhihitam.
Yaivastra Maya Bharanamanu Lepniha.
Yasramalyai vanidhanulalepanai.
Svabhojanam Svatmaya Uparaditam.
Svabhojanam svatmatayo palahitam.
Asantiyasya charitam hi durbhagaha.
Shantiyasya charitam hi durbhaga.
Atman ratasya vidusha samhitam.
Svatman ratasya vidusha samhihitam.
Stramalya varananulepanai.
Irvasramalyai bharanulaipanai.
Swabhojanam swatmatayo palalitam.
Svabhojanam svatmatyayo palahitam.
Thank you so much. Mataji's.
Asantiyasya charitam hi durbhaga.
Svatman ratasya vidusha samhitam.
Yevasramalyai
Svabhojanam svatmatayo palalitam. Thank you so much. Synonyms. Hasanti, laugh at.
Laugh at.
Yasya,
Yes. Whose?
Achritam, activity. He, certainly. Durbhagaha, the unfortunate. Swatmanam, in the self. Ratasya, of one engaged. Avidushaha, not knowing. Samhitam, his purpose. Ye, by whom. Vasatra, clothing. Malya, garlands. Abharna, ornaments. Anu, such luxurious. Lepanahe, with ointments. Swabhojanam, eatable by the dogs. Swa atmatya, as if the self. Upa la litam, pondered. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Unfortunate, foolish persons, not knowing that he is engaged in his own self, laugh at him. Such foolish persons engage in maintaining the body, which is eatable by dogs, with dresses, ornaments, garlands, and ointments. Purport. Lord Shiva never accepts any luxurious dress, garland, ornament, or ointment. But those who are addicted to the decoration of the body, which is finally eatable by dogs, very luxuriously maintain it as the self. Such persons do not understand Lord Shiva, but they approach him for luxurious material comforts. There are two kinds of devotees of Lord Shiva. One class is the gross materialistic, seeking only bodily comforts from Lord Shiva, and the other class desires to become one with him. They are mostly impersonalist and prefer to chant Shivoham, I am Shiva, or after liberation, I shall become one with Lord Shiva. In other words, the karmis and jnanis are generally devotees of Lord Shiva, but they do not properly understand his real purpose in life. Sometimes so called devotees of Lord Shiva imitate him in using poisonous intoxicants. Lord Shiva once swallowed an ocean of poison and thus his throat became blue. The imitation Shivas try to follow him by indulging in poisons and thus they are ruined. The real purpose of Lord Shiva is to serve the soul of the soul, Lord Krishna. He desires that all luxurious articles such as nice garments, garlands, ornaments, and cosmetics be given to Lord Krishna only because Krishna is the real enjoyer. He refuses to accept such luxurious items himself because they are only meant for Krishna. However, since they do not know this purpose of Lord Shiva, foolish persons either laugh at him or profitlessly try to imitate him. Translation one more time. Unfortunate, foolish persons, not knowing that he is engaged in his own self, laugh at him. Such foolish persons engage in maintaining the body, which is eatable by dogs, with dresses, ornaments, garlands, and ointments. So this is our Sisht Parampara or the lineage which we are carrying in Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya of Mangala Charan prayers, showing our gratitude and offering respects to our acharyas who have given us this treasure of knowledge. Let's just chant Mangala Charan prayers together. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvaya cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः समस्त कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. This Srimad Bhagavatam, as we always say, that is considered the essence of all Vedic literature, and it's very unique because if we read Vedas are indicating towards that supreme personality, but Srimad Bhagavatam is clearly telling us the name, number, address, everything of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Krishna himself. So there is a reason why our Acharyas gave commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Almost every Vaishnava Acharya we can see, be it Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, be it Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and even prior to them, all the Acharyas who came as Vaishnavas, they gave their commentary. Sri Vallabhacharya ji, they gave their own commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, Baladeva Vidyabhushan. Why? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is a Vaishnava literature and is clearly establishing the fact that Krishna is person and he is supreme. That's the message which Srimad Bhagavatam is giving. As we always talk about this verse 2.10.1, that there are 10 characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam, and the 10th one is Ashaya, or the supreme shelter. And Srimad Bhagavatam is denoting that supreme shelter is the supreme personality of Godhead, who is Krishna. There are various arguments, refutations against Srimad Bhagavatam being not the original Purana or form the league of 18 Puranas which Vyasadeva has given to us. And I was reading this very beautiful book by Baladeva Vidyabhushan, Siddhanta Darpana. Darpan means mirror and Siddhanta means philosophy, the mirror of philosophy. And in this book, Srila Baladeva Vidyabhushan very wonderfully established that Srimad Bhagavatam, how supreme Srimad Bhagavatam is, just like our Jiva Goswami, who established the fact that Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate Shabda Pramana in his Tattva Sandarbha. And Srila Baladeva Vidyabhushan is refuting all the arguments by impersonalist or atheist regarding Srimad Bhagavatam. And I think it's a very wonderful work by him. And it should be known by all the Vaishnava or all the followers of Vaishnava philosophy, so that when we get these questions, so we should know how to answer all these questions. Very wonderful book. So Srimad Bhagavatam, we are on 3rd canto. So that's the importance of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. I always start the discussion by giving Bhagavatam Mahatmya. The reason behind it is, of course, number one, that I am teaching and I am convincing myself that whatever I am doing, this process is going to lead me towards Bhava Bhakti or emotions for Krishna. In Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sanatana Goswami is saying our Kartik month is coming. So in the month of Kartik, even if we read half of a shloka, half of a verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, not the entire verse, only half of the verse, then also we are going to get uplifted as an associate of the Supreme Lord. We can all read, it's given in 16th Vilasa, 16th chapter of Hari Bhakti Vilas, Glories of Kartik Mahatmya. So that's how glorious Srimad Bhagavatam is. Devotees every day, they wake up quite early in the morning. They chant their rounds, perform arati, bathe themselves, so many things. After some time, heart start questioning, why I'm doing this? Why this suffering? Not suffering, by why I'm doing this? Why I'm different from others? What is the reason? What reason you give to yourself? Prabhu, why you are doing this? Huh?
Because I want to use my life in the service of Krishna.
Yeah, wonderful answer. Because Prabhu want to use his life in the service of Krishna. Yeah. So why we are doing this? Why this austerity? We can easily wake up at around 8 o'clock, take shower at around 1 or 2. Why we are doing this? Why we are different from others? So this is a part of sadhana bhakti, which we are performing. Sadhana bhakti. And what's the definition of sadhana bhakti? Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is giving. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya. That means Kriti sadhya means the sadhana or the practice of devotional service which we are doing with our senses. It's going to lead us towards bhavet sadhya or bhava bhakti. It can generate emotions for the Lord by practicing our mind continuously. This definition of it's very wonderful that how Rupa Goswami or is giving definition of everything. And if we move around the definition, then our concepts can get very, very clear. So sadhana bhakti, the definition is very clear. Whatever I'm doing with my senses is going to lead me towards emotions for Krishna, bhava bhakti, bhavet sadhya. Two things, kriti sadhya and bhave sadhya. Bhava is rati for the Lord. But even after 15 or 20 years of my sadhana bhakti, I see that those emotions are not generating in me. And there is a reason. The reason can be any of the following. Maybe I just want to become a good devotee so that others can respect me as a devotee. Or can be so many other motives behind it. But if the motive is not that my bhava bhakti or my love for Krishna or emotions for Krishna arise, then what I am doing, it's not the sadhana bhakti, it's the sadhana abhas. Just the reflection of the sadhana. I'm not doing sadhana bhakti and it's given. I'm not telling anything here with my own addition. It's the sadhana abhas. That yes, I am doing sadhana bhakti, but my motive is something else than evoking emotions for Krishna. So this whole process has been given by our Acharya Srila Prabhupada so that our sadhana can lead us to this path and we can attain those emotions, that bhava for the Supreme Lord Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate work which can give us those emotions for Lord Shri Krishna. When we hear the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, when we hear how he created the entire universe, that connects us with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now we are on third canto and 14th chapter. And this 14th chapter talks about pregnancy of Diti in the evening. As I earlier discussed too, that any story in Srimad Bhagavatam is not a bedtime story, or we can say it's not a fictional story which is given to us for some entertainment. Every story which made up to the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, it has its purpose behind it. And what's the purpose of this pregnancy of Diti in the evening? So this story is a flashback of the story of appearance of Sri Varahadev. And we read the appearance of Sri Varahadev. There we saw that Maitreya Muni is describing Vidur about the appearance of Varahadev, and he is mixing two pastimes into one event. Appearance of Varahadev happened in first Manvantara, in the Manvantara of Swayambhuva Manu, and also happened in sixth Manvantara, which is who is the Manu? Chakshusha Manu. And in this Chakshusha Manu, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu came as sons of Kashyapa and Diti. So the lust desire of Diti, we saw in this chapter, in previous verses, how it arose, and Diti was not able to curb her desire of union with her husband, and the time was not correct. The time was, it was evening time, it was the Sandhya time when the sun was setting and night was, is about to rise. So the middle, Sandhya time, evening time, and his husband, he was sitting in Yagyashala, in the sacrificial arena. So the time was not correct, the place was not correct. And Diti presented the arguments that I am childless. I want to become mother of a son, as you have given sons to my other sisters or my co-wives. So this request, as we already discussed, was not incorrect for a wife to ask from her husband, but the time, place, circumstance, everything was not right. And on top of that, Kashyapa Muni, he was not strong enough to refuse his beautiful wife, Diti. So now Kashyapa started giving her the arguments that why we should not perform this act at this particular time here. Okay. The place or the situation, he can easily change. He can go somewhere else. But the thing is, the time, we cannot change the time. So Kashyapa Muni, he started describing Diti that at this particular time, Lord Shiva, along with his ganas or with his associates, he takes around. And how glorious Lord Shiva is. And performing this act in front of him is not a good deal. And how by this union can attract evil spirits in the womb of a mother, expecting mother. So this particular verse, this particular shloka is describing the glory of Lord Shiva. As we already, and the verse before that, 27, although no one in the material world is equal to or greater than Lord Shiva, and although his unimpeachable character is followed by great souls to dismantle the mass of nuisance, he nevertheless remains as if a devil to give salvation to all devotees of the Lord. And unfortunate foolish persons, not knowing that he is engaged in his own self, laugh at him. Such foolish persons engage in maintaining the body, which is eatable by dogs, with dresses, ornaments, garlands, and ointments. So very clearly, who is talking? Kashyapa Muni is talking. To whom he is talking? He is talking with his own wife, Diti, explaining the glories of Lord Shiva very clearly. That people, materialistic people, usually make fun of him and they laugh on him because of his dress and because the way he present himself and the things he accept and so on. In 8th canto, we see 7th chapter, Ocean, Milk Ocean, Churning of Milk Ocean. In there, verse number 33, our Devatas, they were praying to Lord Shiva in this particular chapter because they wanted Lord Shiva to consume the poison. And at that time also, the same verse which Kashyap Muni is speaking here, the meaning is same, and they are saying that people usually misunderstand you because of your lifestyle, because of your dress, and because you stay with Uma, your wife, but you are so glorious. You are just like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Lord Shiva, there are so many, of course, in this particular verse, Kashyap Muni is talking about normal materialistic people who do not understand the position of Lord Shiva. But many times we can see that even in our devotional circle, we fail to realize or acknowledge the importance of Lord Shiva. Earlier also, Shiva Tattva has been glorified in this in the previous chapters. And if we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Shiva made his appearance so many times. And the devotees or the Devatas, they are praying to Lord Shiva and they are again and again mentioning this point that Lord Shiva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are saying you are the Supreme Lord. 4th canto, in 4th canto, the Daksha and Shiva and Sati event, when all this story is there, when Daksha insulted Lord Shiva. And then there was a mass destruction by Veerbhadra. Daksha was killed. And at that time, Brahma, along with all the Devatas, they went to pacify Lord Shiva. At that time, in the prayers, the same thing is there, that you are the Supreme Lord of this material universe. And then we can see 4th canto, the same 4th canto, later chapters, when there is Rudra Gita, which is spoken by Lord Shiva. Prachetas are praying to Lord Shiva. And then again in 8th canto, ocean, milk ocean. And again, we can see in 12th canto also, Lord Shiva, there is a discussion between Markandeya Muni and Lord Shiva, where Markandeya Muni is accepting the higher position of Lord Shiva. So we can see in Srimad Bhagavatam, so many places, Lord Shiva has been considered as the Supreme Lord. And as I said, we discussed Shiva Tattva before also. But for the context of this verse, we are going to discuss it one more time again. And also, in our 10 offenses, Namaprad, what is the second offense? Anybody here?
To consider the names of the demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to and independent of the name of Lord
To
Vishnu.
be equal to or independent. So is it equal to or independent? I mean, I'm confused. I was confused really, and I had really searched about these lines. What these 10 Namaprads come in Padma Puran. So what they are trying to say, to be equal to or independent. Either it is equal or it is independent. So the point here is that why again and again we are hearing this about Lord Shiva, and I have explained before also, I guess here only, about the position of Sadashiva, who is the partial portion of Mahasankarshana. This Mahasankarshana is in the spiritual world. Jai Shri Radha Sharad Bihari, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani, Soren Chai ki Jai, Prabhupada ki Jai. So this Shiva is Sadashiva, who is Shiva is the Sadashiva. He is Vishnu Tattva, almost the Vishnu Tattva, and is the expansion of Mahasankarshan. And it has been mentioned in Laghu Bhagavatamrit also that Lord Shiva's abode is in the northern eastern side above the material universe. Even in Brahma Samhita, it is coming from 5.8 till 5.10. That Lord Shiva or the abode of Sadashiva is above the material universe, but below the Goloka Vrindavan or Goloka Dham. So it's in the spiritual world, the abode of Sadashiva. And this Sadashiva is Vishnu Tattva. And this Vishnu Tattva is, whenever we talk about the equal to with the Supreme Lord, this Vishnu Tattva we do. And this Sadashiv expand himself in the form of Shambhu and then Rudra in this material universe. And the Rudra, who is Rudra? Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 679 says, Ananta Brahmande Rudra Sadashiv Amsha Gunavatar Teno Sarv Deva Avad Amsha. So that means Rudra, who is an expansion of Sadashiva, is an Gunavatar and is the ornament of all demigods in the endless universes. So the Supreme Lord, when he comes into, or the Supreme Lord or Sadashiva, he expands himself in the form of Rudra, who comes into the contact of this Vikara of Tamas, or changes happen due to the presence of mode of ignorance. He accepted. And then he becomes Rudra in this material universe. And in this way, he is separate from the Supreme Lord Vishnu, like that. So, and even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving instructions to Sanatana Goswami in 20th chapter of Madhya Leela, even he is saying, Maya Sangha Vikari Rudra Bhinna Bhinna Rupa Jiva Tattva Nahi Nahi Krishna Raswarupa. That he is not a Jiva Tattva and also he is not Lord Shri Krishna. But at the same time, accepting this fact that Lord Shiva in this material world, material universe, when we are when we are performing our worship, so how we can perform his worship without disrespecting him? We can see that materialistic also they are disrespecting Lord Shiva. And 9.23 Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna himself is saying, Yepi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddha yan vitaha tepi mam eva kaunteya yajanti avadhi purvakam. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith, actually they are worshipping only me, but they are doing with some other process or the wrong process. Avadhi purvakam. So when we understand this position of the Lord Shiva, because this is a devotee circle, of course, this materialistic people, they even make fun of Lord Krishna also. So what to talk about Lord Shiva? But in our devotee circle, when we hear this verse 923, that Krishna is clearly saying that those who are devotees of other, they are actually worshipping me, but they are doing it in a wrong way. We should not only take this line, Avadhi Purvakam, but also concentrate on this line where Krishna is saying, who worship them with faith actually worship only me. And in Bhakti Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami, Anucheda number 106, he is mentioning very clearly, and I have verses also. So for that, he is mentioning very clearly, he's saying that first of all, he is establishing the fact that Shiva and Vishnu, they both are same tattva. And then when he is establishing this fact, then he's saying that when people are worshipping this Shiva with this understanding, then they are Shant Bhakt Gyanis. This term is used. They are Shant Bhakt Gyanis. These people are Gyanis and they want to merge. They are Shant Bhaktas. Their goal is not to serve the Supreme Lord Krishna. So these people are Shant Bhakt Gyanis. But at the same time, when the Vaishnava is trying to worship Lord Shiva, or other devatas, they should be worshipping him in the mood that he is a Vaishnava. He is the topmost Vaishnava. Because there is a difference. What is the difference? That of that vikara of tamas? Like yogurt and milk, we always give this example. So in the life of a Vaishnava, although Vaishnavas, they don't have to perform worship other than Krishna. But in case, many times it happened that the family background and the tradition which is coming from the past, we have the worship of Lord Shiva. But at this time also, we should not be disrespecting Lord Shiva. We should be performing our obligations as per the suggestions or requests by our family, but it should be done in the mood that Lord Shiva is one of the limbs of the Supreme Lord. These devatas, they are the limbs of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. In 4th canto, 31st chapter, at the very last sloka, Narad Muni is talking and he is saying, he is talking with Prachetas, he is saying that Krishna or the Supreme Lord is the root. He is the root of all the things, all the devatas. So if you pour water in the root, everybody is going to get nourished. But at the same time, when we hear all these verses, that does not give us any flexibility to show our disrespect towards this, towards Lord Shiva. Even in Bhakti Sandarbha, what I'm mentioning, the shloka, just give me a second. Even in Bhakti Sandarbha, they are mentioning that even any other Vedic deity, and the Vedic deity, they are mentioning Ganesha, Durga, sun god, they should not be disrespected at any cost. Because if we do disrespect them, then Lord Krishna, he himself is saying, he himself is talking and he is saying that anybody who worship me but blaspheme Lord Shiva, or anybody who worship Shiva and blaspheme me, these both devotees, both kind of sects of devotee, they rot in the hell for unlimited time. 106 Bhakti Sandarbha Anucheda, if you want to read, clearly mentioned. They rot in hell. And also, what to talk about any demigods or Lord Shiva, who is equal to the Supreme Lord Krishna, even any living entity. a Vaishnava should not disrespect, any living entity around him. Many times it has been seen that whenever we get this adhikar or qualification above than others, in a temple setting, I get diksha and the other person is not initiated. I am initiated, the other person is not initiated. He is a new bhakta, he or she is a new bhakta. So, on the context of getting qualification for doing something in Vaishnav circle, it should not be my duty, or it should be my duty to respect everybody, because that's one of the quality of Vaishnava, being merciful, being compassionate. And in 3:29:21, Kapil Muni, he is talking to his mother Devahuti, and he is saying clearly in there, Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma vashtita sada tam avyagyana mam mritya kurute racha vidambanam. I am present in every living entity as the super soul. If someone neglects or disregards that super soul everywhere and engages himself in the worship of deity in the temple, that is simply imitation. If I get this adhikar or I get the qualification of worshipping deities, that does not mean that I am a better Vaishnava than other person. This adhikar or this qualification I am getting because of the mercy of my spiritual master, because of the mercy of all the Vaishnavas. And many times, especially in India, I have seen that, initiated, non-initiated, Brahmin, there are rules and regulations which we have to follow. But on the context of that, we should not be disrespecting any living entity around us. What to talk about Lord Shiva? And that's why many times I heard this, I heard this comment that, that Hare Krishnas, they are exclusive people. They exclude others. They have their own group of initiated people and exclude others. This should not be the mood. This should not be and who created this mood? We. I am responsible, myself. I am responsible for this. We should be respectful. We should be lovable towards all the living entities, especially who is walking inside this temple. And accepting the fact that Lord Krishna wants to see this person, this living entity, and that's why this living entity is walking inside the temple. There are various instructions which has been given to us by our acharyas. Think about Srila Prabhupada. He has changed the world. How? With his own compassion, with his love. Because he never discriminate and he never, yes, he set the rules and regulations, which is important. But at the same time, it's very, very important to respect each and everybody around us. And that's the abhushan or the ornament of a devotee. There are rules. So I'm chanting 16 rounds. I'm following the rules and regulations. I'm getting up. I'm doing all these parts of my sadhana bhakti. But if it is not reflecting in my nature, if it is not reflecting in my character, then am I a Vaishnava? You tell me, Prabhu. No.
At a lower level, at a very, you'd still say you're a Vaishnava, but not a.
Yes, but no one else can see my practice. No one can actually see my practice, what I'm doing. So, yes, the levels have been explained in Nectar of Instruction. Also, Srila Prabhupada is given in, I think it's verse number 5 in the purport about Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama Adhikari. And that's how it's very, very important. So, yes, materialistic people, They don't have the sense of their own identity, that I am the soul, I'm not this body. So most of their time just goes on in decorating their own body. And whatever they are doing, the motivation behind that is motivation behind that is sense gratification. But when we come in a life of a devotee, or when we start devotional practice, we start understanding that these things, or whatever I am doing, I should dovetail everything in the service of the Supreme Lord. And when I am doing this, when I am dovetailing everything in the service of the Supreme Lord, at that point of time, because as a uh, in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we see there are 6 things which Arjuna is asking from Krishna. And one of the things is Purusha. Purusha means enjoyer. So there also living entity is also considered as enjoyer. But this living entity is a subordinate enjoyer. And who is the real enjoyer, as Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport? Krishna. Bhoktaram Yagnetapasam. That's the peace formula. That the Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He is the one who should be enjoying with our efforts. So, although we are enjoyer too, that when we come into devotional life, that does not mean we leave everything. We are not enjoying. We are enjoying, but we are enjoying by our service to Krishna. And that's what has been mentioned in Anucheda 106, Bhakti Sandarbha by Jiva Goswami, that we can worship, but we should be worshipping as servants, other devatas or Lord Shiva as the devotee of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Although in normal circumstances, Vaishnavas do not have to worship any other else except Krishna. And many times this question comes about Shivratri, whether we should be performing Shivratri or not. So the answer to that is given by, just a second. Answer to that is given to us by Sanatana Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas, 14th chapter. In verse 185 to 186. Just wait, I'm just looking for that verse. Yes. So 14th Vilasa, Hari Bhakti Vilas, Shivratri Vratam Idam Yadyapi Avashyakam Nahi Vaishnavanam Tatha Yatra Sadacha Vilikhyate. He is saying, although Vaishnavas are not required to observe the vow of Shivratri, still, for the sake of formality and preserving proper etiquette, it is being described here. So, although there is no need, but for the proper etiquette, we see, right, in Canto 10th that even Brajavasis, they perform the vow of Shivratri. So it's very important, but when we perform even the vow of Shivratri, we can ask Lord Shiva to bless us with what? With Krishna Prema, with the bhakti of the Supreme Lord. And by doing this, we should never, and even if we are performing or not performing, with our antahakaran, with our own inner consciousness, we should be trying not to disrespect any living entity. What to talk about Lord Shiva, who is the Supreme Lord. So this verse is all about not disrespecting Lord Shiva, and Kashyap Muni very nicely has explained to Diti that the people, they don't understand, or they fail to understand the importance of Lord Shiva, and they make fun of him. In 4th canto, we see that who made fun of Lord Shiva? Daksha. Daksha made. And what happened to Daksha? Story is very popular. Yeah. Daksha. Yeah, his head was severed by Veerbhadra, one of the Shivganas. So even, and what is the curse? Nandishwar, he gave to Bhrigu Muni. He said that you all Brahmanas, you are all going to forget. Sorry, the sun is, you all going to forget about all the literature, all the transcendental literature. you are not going to, you are not going to accept anything.
Slide forward.
And you are going to become Pashandi. You are going to become an atheist. And also it has been mentioned that if we worship Shiva as the Supreme Lord, then Bhrigu Muni's verse, Bhrigu Muni's curse. And what was Bhrigu Muni's curse? That you will become Pashandi again. That if you are a worshipper of Shiva alone, as if you're considering that Shiva is the Supreme Lord, independently of Krishna, then also you are going to become Pashandi. That's given in Srimad Bhagavatam 4th canto. Right? So what is the safe route? The safe route is that we should always respect the position of Lord Shiva, who is the benefactor of all the sages. If we see in 12th canto, 12th canto, which chapter it is? I think 10th or 11th. So Markandeya Muni, and there is a meeting of Markandeya Muni and Lord Shiva. And in that particular chapter, Lord Shiva is praising Markandeya Muni, and he is saying that Markandeya Muni, the kind of devotee Markandeya Muni is, I am the one who need his blessings. And Markandeya Muni is saying that you are the friend of the Supreme Lord. So here we can see the devotees of Supreme Lord Vishnu. They worship Shiva as the limb of Vishnu, or they worship Lord Vishnu. They worship Shiva as a Vaishnava. So all these things which are given in Srimad Bhagavatam, they are there for some relevance, and we should be driving our lessons from there. Definitely, pregnancy of Diti in the evening is a very prominent chapter, which is telling us how we are performing, how we are living our life according to the scriptures, according to the injunctions which has been given to us in Manu Smriti. Manu Smriti, one of the Dharma Shastras. So with that, I'm going to stop here, trying to just establish the fact that Lord Shiva, the offense which we talk about every day, second offense, how Lord Shiva is equal to or independent of the name of Krishna. So this is a concept, Bheda Abhed. So as devotees of, as Vaishnavas, we are not taking Abheda or non-difference. We are taking Bheda, that there is difference. But we are worshipping Lord Shiva as a Vaishnava. With this, I'm going to stop here. I'm not able to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Surya Dev is giving his darshan.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Any questions or any comments?
There is a question online, Mother Kishori the Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for a wonderful class, Mataji. And about Shiv Tattva, yesterday also we had this section, and there was a question about why Shivji is supposed to be the Vaishnava of Vaishnavas, but why he is not an ISKCON, like our Guru Tattva or our Guru Parampara never actually kept Shivji's deity, or the Shivling in the ISKCON temple. Can you just highlight, put some? Yeah, I'm very confused why, if he's the Vaishnava of Vaishnavas, and we devotees are so much into Vaishnav Seva, then why don't we do Vaishnav Seva of Shivji ji at ISKCON temple first?
Okay. So her question is that because Lord Shiva is a Vaishnava, when we take this Bheda part, difference, Lord Shiva is a Vaishnava, then why there is not a deity of Lord Shiva in ISKCON temples? The reason why there is not a deity of Lord Shiva, I explained that as Vaishnavas, we take this Bheda part, right? That Lord Shiva is different from the Supreme Lord. and he is a Vaishnava. But we can see that Vaishnavas, although he is a Vaishnava, but at the same time, our worship, because we following Vaishnava philosophy, Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. In Vaishnava philosophy, we are worshippers of Lord Vishnu, or we can say more precisely, worshipper of Lord Krishna. So when we are worshippers of Lord Krishna, then the deity we are worshipping should be the one. It should not be multiple sets of what you say. Our worshipable deities are Radha Krishna, and we can see that Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maharani, they are also the same. Jagannath ji is Lord Shri Krishna himself, and Gauranitai, Gaura is also a combined form of Radha and Krishna. Even we can see in ISKCON temples, Lord Narsinghadev is not on the same altar as, ideally should not be on the same altar as Radha and Krishna. If you go in India, in Mayapur, in Ujjain, I've seen also. So wherever the deity of Lord Narsinghadev is, it's on the separate altar. Because the concept is that we are the worshippers of Radha and Krishna, though only Radha and Krishna concept, Tattva should be there on the altar. Otherwise, there are so many Vaishnavas. Even Ganesha is a Vaishnava. Ganesha in the spiritual world, he is a, what's his name? Huh? No, there is no another name. Vaishampaya. Yes, in the spiritual world, it's given in Bhakti Sandarbha about the Ganesha. So he is in the spiritual world too, but we can see that even devotees of Krishna or Vaishnava, the focus should be one-pointed. When you're chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, how many deities you have in that this mantra? Kishori.
Yeah, oh, sorry. So we have two, like Krishna, Ram, and they are one, right? Okay.
One. Hare is
Okay.
Krishna's energy. Ram and Krishna both are denoting Krishna in the mantra as per our acharyas.
Okay.
So Hare Krishna mantra is also worshipping the same one deity, Radha and Krishna. We are all about Radha and Krishna. So that's why in every sampradaya, you can see in Vallabha Sampradaya, there is Krishna and Yamuna Maharani. There we can see, right, Gopalji. So every sampradaya has their own worshipable deity. So here we can see Radha and Krishna are our worshipable deity. So you will never find any deity of Lord Shiva in ISKCON temples or in any Gaudiya Vaishnava sampradaya. They can be present as in separate temple under the separate roof, like in Mayapur they have Shivlinga, like that.
This is exactly what I mean. That we are not worshipping them as the main tattva, as Krishna Radha, but
Yes.
as a Vaishnav, because we need that blessing from
Yes, you
him.
can.
So
You can.
that's why I'm thinking, like, hope we had that separate room for all these Vaishnavas, the main Vaishnavas, so we can go and get some blessings from them as well before we
So,
step inside.
yeah, this is not what has been established by our acharyas of having separate deity like that for getting the blessings. You can definitely, when you worship your acharyas or when you worship any, when you go to any Shiva temple, you can still go and worship Shiva, but you can worship Shiva as a devotee of the Lord. But in ISKCON temples, our acharyas have never given this. And not only this, even in Sri Sampradaya, in other Sampradayas, if you go, you will not find it. You will not find
Okay,
it.
Mataji, thank you for clarification. Hare Krishna.
I'm feeling really bad because
No.
you're shady. We can shift you over here, maybe if you slide this way. If you slide this way, because I think it's going to continue to come this way.
This is better.
Yeah.
Not able to see anything.
Along those points, if we established some worship of Lord Shiva here, you can understand the confusion it would possibly cause to so many people, especially those of the Hindu faith.
Yes.
That aren't Vaishnavas or that are becoming Vaishnavas. They would come only for the worship of Lord Shiva, but not with the understanding that Shiva is a devotee. Yeah. They would come for some karmakandic, organic Gana reason. So that would be very confusing because that misconception is predominant throughout the world.
Yes.
This idea that Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava is actually a very rare quality of understanding. Most of the time, you go to a regular Hindu temple, you go to the Samartan temple, or you go to the Bhartiya temple. It's all one. It's whether you're Shiva, you're Vishnu, whether you do Ram, whether you do Ganesh, it is all the same. You know, so that could be very confusing. It's just a thought that it's there. It'd be very confusing. One thing though that is established in the way that we do worship Lord Shiva here at the temple is when we chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita. Shri Advaita is Sadashiva.
Yeah.
So when we worship the Panchatattva, we have Lord Shiva is present. And so Lord Chaitanya has given us this in his tattva that we don't leave him out. I heard from His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. He gave a talk on this.
So Advaitacharya, you perfectly mentioned, Prabhuji, that Advaitacharya is the expansion of Sadashiva, Mahavishnu too combined. But Advaitacharya is Avaran deity. Avaran deity is, there is a main deity, and I don't know if you have seen in other sampradayas, their main deity and Avaran deities are the one who are around the main deity. So main deity is again Gorak, Chandra, and Nitai, and these are Avaran deity. So we worship Avaran deity too, and that's a very wonderful point which Guru Maharaj made. Yes, but I wanted to say, because I just read about the Avaran deities, it's given in very explicitly. I'm studying some books, so in that how the Avaran deities should be there around the deities as the protector. So Advaitacharya is, but yes, you mentioned very clearly, it creates confusion, especially those people who are coming from Indian background, Indian or the family background, family lineages, the worship of Lord Shiva. But at the same time, if there is a compulsion from the family, we have to worship Lord Shiva on particular dates like Shivratri or maybe other dates, Ganesh Chaturdashi, Ganesha, then we should be doing it. But as that Lord Shiva is the Vaishnava, because that's why Srimad Bhagavatam is there, and there are commentaries of our acharyas is given. There is a story actually, I just remember. There was a Brahmana. He was a worshipper of Lord Shiva. No, sorry, worshipper of Lord Vishnu. And he was walking through a forest and he was taking rest under a tree. So, the people who were living in a forest, the prince of that community, he came and he said, I am the worshipper of Shiva. I'm having headache. Can you worship Shiva instead of me today? And he said, no, I cannot do that because I am worshipper of Lord Vishnu. So as the worshipper of Lord Vishnu, I cannot do it. But he said, you are going to do it, otherwise I'm going to kill you. So he out of obligation, he said, okay, I don't want to get killed by this person. So he went and he was worshipping the linga, Shiv Linga, and he chanted, he was looking, inside the linga, Lord Nrsimhadeva. And he invoked Lord Nrsimhadeva, Om Lord Nrsimhadevaya Namah. And the prince, he was about to kill him. And at that time, Nrsimhadev, he came out of the linga, out of the Shiv Linga, and he killed everybody around him, just like Jad Bharat story. I just read this story yesterday. And this is Linga Spota. There is a place, Linga Spota. That means explosion happened of the linga and Nrsimhadev came out. And why Jiva Goswami is mentioning this story in Bhakti Sandarbha, he is saying that when the devotee of Krishna, he is worshipping, even in Shiva, Lord Krishna, then he is getting the result of worshipping Krishna. I mean, he was establishing this fact. I mean, little bit it's confusing, but at the same time, what Kishori has asked and what is your addition is perfectly correct. In order to avoid confusion, and also we should be focusing on one thing. Like today I'm chanting Radha and Krishna. Tomorrow I'm chanting Shiv Parvati. The next day I'm chanting Ganesha's name. The next day I'm chanting Lakshmi's name. So there is no fixed goal. So that's why. Yeah. Anything else?
Mother Kishori, she serves the Panchatattva at the Bhakti Garden. So when you go there now, you can meditate on Shri Advaita Charya and his service. Actually, you can see in him when you have that. Now that you're aware of this, you'll actually see Mahadev.
Yes, Prabhu, I always see Mahadev in there.
There.
Yes, thank you.
Advaita Charya there. Oh. Yes.
Hare Krishna, I want to say that I used to read Shiv Puran long time back. In the Shiv Puran, the Lord Shiva glorifies Lord Ram, and Lord Ram is glorifying Lord Shiva. So in India, they say whenever you do Shiv Puja, Shiv worship, you should also do worship Ram also. So whenever long time back I heard that, because otherwise the worship is not complete. Shiv Puja, then Ram Puja also. So I read, every Monday I read. I have been reading for a long time. So Somvar ki Katha, like Shiv, about Lord Shiv, Katha about Lord Shiv. And there, after reading Katha, there are two artis. One for Shiva and one for Ram and his family. So the two artis there about Ram also. So I mean, so they say that Ram, when we do the Shiv, that you are right. Shiv and not bhakti complete when we do the Ram Puja also. So everything is, as you say, it's a limb. Shiv Puja is the limb of Krishna or Ram's worship. So they are all connected, and we should worship both. When we do worship Shiva, we should worship Ram, so Krishna. So this they say, and have been.
So the understanding is that, Mataji, thank you so much for your contribution. So the understanding is that being devotees of Krishna, we should be worshipping only Krishna. Because as I said in 4th canto, 31st chapter, Narad Muni is talking that the Supreme Lord is Krishna. And when we pour water in the trunk of in the root of the tree, then everything get nourished. So there is really no need to worship separately any other demigods or limbs of the Supreme Lord. Like we should not be watering leaf, twigs, branches, and trunk. So at the same time, what you mentioned, so Shiva, as already we discussed, that he is Vishnu Tattva, but at the same time, he is also not Vishnu Tattva. The Bheda difference is that. This is called Shakha Shaki Nyaya. What is Shakha Shaki Nyaya? It's like trunk and branch. The trunk is Krishna and the branch is Shiva. Is branch separate from the trunk?
No.
Yes and no. Both are there. Yes and no. So the trunk is Krishna and the branch is Shiva. So on the branch, leaves, fruits are generating. So when the Rudra, he comes as a vikar, by accepting the vikara of tamas or mode of ignorance, at that point, what's happening? Material creation is happening. Fruits, twigs, leaves, everything is growing. But the trunk is what? Without the trunk, is the branch is going to survive? No. Everything is going to, if the branch is cut off, no fruits is going to then generate. So this is Shaka Shaki Nyaya. In Mimamsa, we call it Shaka Shaki Nyaya. So the point, what I'm trying to say, that when we start worshipping Krishna, there is really no need to worship other demigods, but at the same time, we should be extremely careful in respecting them, because they are the administrators and they are the one who are executing the orders of the Supreme Lord Krishna.
Yeah, because I have been doing it for like many, many years. So if I stop doing, that means I'm disrespecting your Lord.
Yeah, you can.
I do it.
That's what I mentioned, that if you are doing, that's what even our Acharya is saying. If you are doing, then do it as the limb of the Supreme Lord, or that you are worshipping the Vaishnava.
Yeah, yeah.
If
yeah.
you are you doing it and you feel, and in Shiv Puran, I know that Shiva is established as the supreme person, and
No, but they are praising each other.
they are praising each other. Yes.
They have
Yeah.
to do. Yeah.
So yeah, they have put across so many reasons about this too. But
Yeah. But as I'm reading this, going deep into Bhagavatam, I'm feeling that it's a doing worshipping Shiva not independently with Krishna is important. Is also okay. Not independently, but I'm worshipping Krishna also, but worshipping Shiva as the Vaishnava, like part of Krishna here.
so it clearly written sometimes, not all the time, but I'm not discouraging you for what you are doing, but sometimes, not all the time. See, we have very limited time, and we are using our precious human birth just to perform some activities which are, I want to put it in a proper way. So the human form of life is very rare, and we understand who is the Supreme Lord. Just try to achieve our purpose as per the instructions of our acharyas. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That brings up actually an important question
Mm.
I want to ask about this. This so there's a feeling I can understand of obligation that, for a long time I've been worshiping Lord Shiva, but it's been coupled with this worship of Lord Krishna, Lord Ram. If I exclusively take to the practice of Krishna bhakti, and this feeling of, then I would be neglecting what I've been doing in coupling this worship of Lord Shiva with, will Mahadev feel abandoned? Will I be making an offense? Because we don't want to make that offense, but will he feel that offense if we exclusively turn our attention to Krishna exclusively?
See, Mahadev, as we keep talking that he is a Param Vaishnava, he is such a, so if you are my friend and you are glorifying me, I feel happy. But if you glorify my Lord, Radha Sharad Bihari, then I will feel even more happy. I will be so ecstatic. Oh, wow, you are glorifying Krishna. You are such a nice Vaishnav and a friend, because with your glorification, I'm connecting more myself to the Supreme Lord Krishna. So the point here I'm trying to mention that similarly, Shiva gets really, really pacified when we worship Krishna. And that's not without any pramana. Here, there is nothing without the proof. Fourth canto, we can see the discussion between Prachetas and Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is Rudra Gita he is talking about, and the Rudra Gita, not even a single verse he is talking about himself. He is explaining about the Supreme Lord Vishnu and how one should worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu. And by worshiping him, how one can get the process of bhakti, or, the prema of Lord. He himself is saying, so we don't have to talk that, if I stop worshipping Shiva, what is he is going to feel. He himself is saying, I am not remembering the chapters of the Rudra Gita, but it's a very prominent Rudra Gita, where Lord Shiva is glorifying the Supreme Lord. And also, 12th canto, I'm saying Markandeya Rishi and Shiva. This Markandeya Rishi is a whole lot of story. I'm sure you must be knowing. The Markandeya Rishi, he is the devotee of Lord Vishnu. And he saw Krishna in the waters of annihilation. Markandeya Muni, he is still alive. Because he is one of the kind of person who is, Chirajeevi, or never going to die at the end of Brahma's life. till Brahma's life easier too. So Markandeya Muni, he is speaking with Shiva, and then Shiva is talking with Markandeya Muni. In that discussion also, Lord Shiva is glorifying the Supreme Lord. So he himself is talking, Lord Shiva, he himself is mentioning. And we can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, about Anupam, who is the younger brother of Rupa Goswami, he was the worshipper of Lord Ram, not Krishna. So here also the distinction comes between different Lord Ram. So, you know, when Anupam, he left his body, at that time we can see that Rupa Goswami and Sanatana, they were talking to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they are saying that he was so glorious, he was the worshipper of Lord Ram. And also with Murari Gupta, we saw, right, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he said, that you are Hanuman, that's why you cannot never abandon the worship of Lord Ram. So in case of Lord Shiva, he himself, we can see that part of Rudra Gita. He himself is glorifying so he never told Prachetas, worship me, I am the, Umapati, and this, worship the Supreme Lord. Prachetas, he gave the set of verses to them, and Prachetas got the darshan of the Supreme Lord after the verses which were given to them by Lord Shiva. So he himself is saying, the problem here is, Prabhu, that there is so much influence from the family and our rituals that it's very hard for me to accept the authority of Shastra. I'm not accepting the authority of Shastra, and that is the reason why I am not ready to accept or give up. Like that. So that's the main point. That's the hurdle which comes in between. So much to say. Even Shiv Puran also, it's mentioned that, Lord Shiva is the supreme. So many interesting commentaries on that. Even Vallabhacharya ji from Pushti Margi is saying that in one kalpa, Lord Vishnu, he became Shiva. And at that time, everybody was worshipping Lord Shiva as Lord Vishnu. So Vallabhacharya ji, Pushti Marg Sampradaya, he gave his commentary. So I think it's very wonderful how Acharyas, especially Vaishnava Acharyas, has established this fact. And if I'm following a particular path or a particular sampradaya, then I should be completely submitted to that sampradaya, the way I'm doing my things, the faith, everything. Otherwise, it's very difficult to take up the spiritual life, especially in the world of this distraction. In my spiritual life also, I'm getting distracted by so many other things. I have to worship this, I have to worship this person, I have to worship this demigods. Have respect for everybody, but just follow what our acharyas are saying. And that's what is going to give the results. Otherwise, I'm going to get recycled again in this material form. That's just the truth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai. Katharat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jai. Tomorrow evening, we're going to celebrate Dussehra here at the temple. I know it was on Thursday, but we will be celebrating it during the Sunday feast. We invite you all to come. Hare Krishna. Thank you for
Hare
joining
Krishna.
today.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Very good discussion. Thank you, Madhavi Gaurangi, Devi Dasi.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Amma.